Namaskar. Today's topic is vegetarianism dangerous? Also, we'll look at whether there's enough protein in the vegetarian diet. What about children? Would they get enough nutritious food for them to grow up to be healthy on a vegetarian diet? And what is the role of sugar in the vegetarian diet? I remember 45 years ago when I became a vegetarian, my father predicted, "You'll be dead within 6 months." Fortunately, that never happened. Back in those years, vegetarianism meant fruit, apple, cabbage, lettuce, carrot. But nowadays, of course, there's so many combinations of different foods, some of them even more nutritious and having more protein than meat-based foods. Back in those years, I had to supplement. I was a college student. I had to supplement my diet with a brewer's yeast. 1 tablespoon, it tasted very horrible, mixing with the milk and holding my nose and drinking it down. Nowadays, the variety enables one to enjoy all the meals of a vegetarian diet. In terms of health, I've never experienced any health problem. In fact, my health has been extremely good over these years. One of my students, she had made the transition from meat to plant-based diet, and she had regularly suffered from cough and cold at a certain time every year. And she told me, since I became a vegetarian, that influence of the cough and cold, that incidence of cough and cold had completely disappeared. So it's important when we take a vegetarian diet that we're careful with what we eat. In 2 studies that were done on me by machines, back in 2013, there was an antioxidant level machine that measured the antioxidant levels in the blood. Antioxidants are very useful when counteracting cancer or cancer-related health problems. So that score was above average. It was an excellent score. And this year in South Korea, the machine that was used to test the blood circulation level, in the 5 days of the studies that hundreds of visitors to that stall, nobody had that perfect score in blood circulation. So these 2 examples show that a vegetarian diet can indeed be very healthy, not at all dangerous for our physical well-being. Back in my earlier years, I would take more cheese or pizza. In Argentina, that's the staple food. So my diet has changed according to the place that I have lived. And in the cold weather, then foods which are more warming, porridge, rice, cheese, butter. And in the warmer climates, vegetarian food which is more light, fruits, salads, raw food, this is common. So one can vary the diet according to one's location in terms of weather conditions. About children, Dr. Benjamin Spock, he's a famous American pediatric doctor. He said that children can get all of their nutritional requirements by taking a vegetarian diet. Again, I come back to this point of being careful with our food selection. There are unhealthy vegetarians. There are very healthy meat eaters. So it depends on our food choice. But if we look at all organizations that are promoting good health, American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, any association that has studied in long-term studies, pretty well their conclusions are similar. Balanced diet, fruits, vegetables, grains, beans, dairy products, and light on oil, sugar, and salt. So it's possible that we can have an unhealthy diet if we're choosing from the vegetarian options, ice cream, potato chips, chocolate fudge. There's no meat there. I remember back when I was in South Africa, one mother approached me and her child was suffering from flu, cough, and cold, 1-year-old child. But I saw that the mother was feeding her baby chocolates. So children's digestive system not developed. So they should take vegetarian food which is very, very light, purees, which are very common, that the fruit is pureed and easily digestible. This will help the children to grow up to be healthy and without any ill side effects of too much sugar in their food. The other important point about vegetarianism is that if somebody is not eating a balanced diet, then as I had back in Philippines about 20 years ago, I was running a bakery for our association, and the sugar, the flour, and the butter, it caused a skin condition combined with a hot and humid weather. So I had to be careful with my sugar. So nowadays I'm much more careful with the sugar in foods. So read labels and try to avoid added sugar, because there's enough sugar in most foods naturally, especially in fruits, that we don't need to add more sugar to get the taste of that food. So all in all, I can say that vegetarian diet is not dangerous. There's enough protein in tofu, beans, soya. These foods, plant-based foods, have more protein than some meat sources. And actually, one only has to look at the obesity rates in North America, in the affluent world, to see that too much protein is the cause of overweight condition. The body cannot store that. The body stores that protein as fat. And too much protein in the diet overstrains the kidneys. So we don't need as much protein as we think we do. And there's an adequate supply in all vegetarian products, especially beans, legumes, and soya. Recently, I was in Korea, and in that test that I did, I had to put my finger in a machine, and from that finger insert, the machine could read essential body elements of health: body fat, body mass index, organ fat, mineral content, many things, circulation of blood. And the reading, it was the 5th day of that exhibition, and the reading that I got for the blood circulation was perfect. There was no blip or any defect in the blood circulation, and the lady was quite surprised. I told her that I practice yoga and meditation, and I'm a vegetarian for many years. So apart from the blood circulation, all of the other body fat, body mass index, organ fat, they were all average or above normal. So I would say that the vegetarian diet is ideal, not dangerous, enough protein. And in this series which we have been giving about yoga and meditation, when we combine that with the vegetarian diet, well-chosen foods, we can definitely have a long, healthy, and happy life. Thank you very much. Namaskar.